Good evening, everyone, and welcome to ATP Live Monday. This is a special Breastfeeding Week edition. Thank you so much for joining me. I need to remove the banner. Just 1 minute. Okay, yeah. All right, you can see my face now. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to ATP Live Monday. I am Gbemisola Boyede and I'm a pediatrician, and it is my pleasure to be here this evening. And ATP Life Monday is brought to you by Ask the Pediatricians Foundation. This is a program where we get to answer any questions that you may have about the health of your children. But because first week of August, as you all know, or I'm sure you must have known if you are somebody that follows ATP on all our social media platforms, is the breastfeeding week. Every first week in August, every year, we celebrate breastfeeding week. This is a time for us to um, remind us the importance of breastfeeding. This is the time for us to um, make sure that we know why it's so important to breastfeed our children. And so that's why I'm here today. And welcome everyone. And so if you have any questions on any health issues, you are welcome to ask. But if you have specifically about breastfeeding, I'll be very, very excited to answer your questions and in the next 1 hour. However, before we start, I want you to just help me share the video. Let's share the video. Let's make sure everybody can see, everybody can hear. Whether you're on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on which other platform? Any other platform where you're watching, please help me to share the video. Invite somebody, put it in all the platforms where you can share and invite them to come and be part of this session, because we're going to be answering all the questions that people have about breastfeeding. And thank you for those of you who have been sharing our posts, our links, all our messages that we're putting out there about breastfeeding. Those of you who have watched the breastfeeding videos, again, please, thank you. And for those who have not watched, this is time for you to go and watch all those breastfeeding videos, and to also invite people to watch. And thank you for those who have been telling me the good news, which we want to hear, because 5 years ago, we started a petition that all mothers in Nigeria should be given 6 months maternity leave so that they can do exclusive breastfeeding. Yes, we were part of the voices that called for that. And I am very excited and grateful to God that quite a lot of our states are now beginning to respond to that. When we started, it was Lagos State only. That was the only state. Kudos to Lagos. We always lead. That's the state of excellence, center of excellence. So Lagos State was the only state in the whole of Nigeria that started this idea of mothers getting 6 months maternity leave. And now when Lagos leads, others follows. And we begin to call on the federal government of Nigeria, we begin to call on all the state government. I remember there's a time we put out over like 39 or 40 petitions to each and every, thank you Mary for joining us, each and every state governor in Nigeria, that they must do it. And I mean, Change.org was like, who are these people? So we did that, and I'm happy now because yeah, when I started putting out this year around, people started telling me, wow, I now do that, I now enjoy that in my state, and I was very, very happy to see that. So kudos to all the state governments that are doing that have approved for the staff who are working mothers to have 6 months maternity leave. So I'm going to list them all. If I miss out any, just shout it out to me. So kudos to Lagos State, and I think Ekiti followed, and then Kaduna, and then I think Enugu, and now her lands Oyo State, Ondo State, Edo State, and now part. Somebody told me Abuja as well, but I wasn't too sure whether it's the Federal Capital Territory or the federal ministries. I really need to clarify that. I want to know whether the presidency has approved it at the at the federal civil service level, or whether it's just the Federal Capital Territory staff. So I really need that clarification. But I really want to appreciate all the states that have now said giving the mother. So we're talking about 7, 8 states. I mean, when we started, it was only one. So that tells you the power of advocacy. And now our signatures are closely approaching the 50,000 mark. And I really want you to join us to still put your voices. One of the most signed petition in Nigeria. So please go sign it if you have not done it. And I will address all the issues that people have raised about it. And it's not only state government, it's not only government institutions that are doing it. I want to shout out to all the private organizations, because some people felt, oh, private organizations cannot do that. And I'm sorry to disappoint you, but there are private organizations, both small and large multinationals, that are approving 6 month maternity leave with full pay for their staff. Nestle is number one on the list, is one of the ones I first known about. Standard Chartered Bank also do that. There is an NGO, I can't remember their name. There's even a law firm, I can't remember their name now, but they actually give. These are not big organizations, so that's why their names is obviously not sticking in my brain, but they do it. So for people that who are shouting that it's not possible for private organization, for private, it is possible. Anything is possible. It is for us to see the importance, and I think most of us don't look at it from the point of view of the children. And if you are like that, you really need to listen to my ATP hour on breastfeeding last week, Thursday, on the 1st of August. I gave the reason why we need to breastfeed our children, why it's important for us to make those petitions, why it's important for mothers to be able to breastfeed their babies exclusively. We are talking about our children surviving here. We're not talking about somebody was saying, oh, how much money, even if you are the one, can you close your shop for 6 months? Why not? You can, if you care about your children, because right now, Nigeria, we're number one when it comes to child deaths under the age of 5. Close to 1 million children dying, in our country. That's a lot. Close to 5 million children under the age of 5. And just practicing this exclusive breastfeeding that will cost us 0 naira, because you don't need to pay for the breast milk. It is natural, it's given to you. You don't need to buy anything, you don't need to do anything, just eat, sleep, and breastfeed your baby. It will lead to almost 1 million lives, 1 million children being saved. For those of us who are pediatricians, we like to look at the big figures. For most mothers, you're only looking at yourself and your own baby and one child. But we are looking at the whole country, and we're looking at how many children are dying that we could save. And if breastfeeding will save even just one child, I think it's worth it. But we're talking about saving almost 1 million children under the age of 5. It is something we should promote. And people are telling me in other countries this is forgiven. Okay, in the United Kingdom, people get one year maternity leave. Of course, maybe they pay you for 9 months, or then you go on just the minimum wage or something for the rest. In Canada, so these things are being practiced as well. So it is not like we're the first, and we are not even asking for 1 year. We're only asking for 6 months, because that first 6 months we want the mothers to do exclusive breastfeeding. A lot of Nigerian mothers breastfeed, but we don't breastfeed exclusively, and that is why our children still die a lot. So exclusive breastfeeding means giving breast milk only, no water, no formula, nothing else, only breast milk. And it has been done for 6 months. nothing else but breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. So we have to do it. And when we do that, our children will be healthy, they will be alive. And then when they start eating complementary food, of course, so you can breastfeed them before you go to work, you can come back and breastfeed them. And somebody was really, getting back and forth with me on during the weekend, and I was like, for the government, for people who are always looking at the bottom line, the figures and all that, to approve such things, it means they know the importance of it, okay? Because sometimes when these mothers are at work, their mind is not even there. They end up making silly mistakes. The children end up having issues. Why not just let them kukuma stay at home, take care of the children? Then at the end of the day, it's not only the mother that benefits, it's not only the baby that benefits, even the government benefits, even the whole country benefits. So it is something we should all do. So please sign the petition until everybody have access to 6 months maternity. And people were telling me, what about those ones in private sector? But when you want to do something, you start small and then you go. Yeah, let's start with the government. Let's get the government people doing it. Let them be a role model. And then it will be easier for the government to tell the private sector, you've got to do it because we are doing it. But if the government is not doing it, then you want to tell private sector, they're not going to listen. And I especially want to speak to education people. People in the education, from my research, they are the worst culprits. I've seen mothers telling me they have to go back to work after 6 weeks. Come on, 6 weeks, you have not even you as a mother, you have not recovered. You should be going for postpartum check at 6 weeks. And I see mothers going back to their teaching job at 6 weeks. 3 months, of course, that's even the typical average. But some schools, they will say 6 weeks or you lose your job and all that. No, this is not acceptable at all. So if you are on listening to me, you run a education setup, and you are one of those people who make your teachers come back within 6 weeks, please rethink it. Give them, you may decide to make a law that you want to go for 6 months, maybe the next baby, it has to be 2 years before we approve it, so that people will not be going for because that's another thing somebody said, that some others be going for maternity leave every year. You can make your laws, I don't have any problem with that, but once they have the babies, please make sure at least 6 weeks is cruel. I mean, that mother herself is not okay for her to go back to work. Not talk of the baby, not to talk of exclusive breastfeeding, and it's not easy. So please, it is this year's theme is about closing the gap. It's about providing breastfeeding support. So this year, I'm not coming for the mothers. I'm coming for everybody else. Everybody else, we need to support the mothers. So I'm starting with the president, Tinubu, starting with all our governors, all our senators, our mother of the nation, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the Pediatric Association of Nigeria. My president has put up a video. I'm going to share that video very soon on all our platforms. All of us, all the pediatricians, all the fathers, all the employers of labors, we all must support our mothers, because breastfeeding is not easy. And one of the reasons why mothers are not breastfeeding is that people just discourage them. And I'm going to make sure that we encourage the mothers. Okay. So, but I can't do it alone. So all of us have to encourage our mothers. We need to encourage them to breastfeed because of all the multiple benefits. So I'm not going to go into that today, but if you want to learn more, please watch my ATP hour last Thursday. It's still on all our platforms. Watch all our breastfeeding videos. It's still on all our platforms. And of course, I'm here now to answer your questions. So thank you for giving me listening to my 15 minutes TED talk on breastfeeding. So if you have any questions, let's start to answer the question. If you have any testimonial, you can start to answer. If you leave me alone, I can talk about breastfeeding for the whole 1 hour and I will not be short of what to say. So, but let me just make sure I listen to you. Yeah, I love the face. It's not easy. I'm currently on it. We're 10 weeks gone. Well done, well done. Keep at it, keep at it. So I'm here to encourage you. If you ever feel discouraged, call me. I'm here to encourage you. Breastfeeding is not just it doesn't come natural. It is both and hard. It's something mothers have to learn. It is something we need to support them to do. So that is what pediatricians, nurses, midwives, that's why we're here. If you are struggling, let us know. We will be there to support you to make sure that you're able to breastfeed. So if you need encouragement, just come to ATP and ask questions. By the time we support you, you will finish it. And one of the lovely things I love about the feedback we get on ATP is that people will say that, oh, it was not easy, I think I can do it. But because you are always supporting me, you're always preaching, then I'm able to finish. And for me, there is no greater reward than that somebody is able to say, I'm able to do it just because you were there telling me you can do it, you can do it. Honestly, it makes my day. It's more than getting a 1,000 or a million naira for me. That's what I enjoy doing. All right, Jennifer say I'm on exclusively. Oh, well done, well done, well done, well done. You're going to be done by next week. Well done. Awesome, awesome. So please let me know if you are breastfeeding exclusively, if you have any if difficulties, if you want me to answer any question. Those who don't have any question on breastfeeding, feel free to ask your questions too. Don't run away because of Dr. Gbemi is just talking breastfeeding today. Feel free to ask your questions as well. Yeah, Wilfred John Oscar said the early mother and son bond is fragile. Don't circumcise your son. Da, 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 da. Okay, today is not about that. Okay, let's just focus on breastfeeding today. The most important thing for us to do today is to encourage our mothers to breastfeed their babies. Okay, so we'll maintain that. So I don't have any question yet, but please ask your questions, share the video so everybody can see, everybody can hear. Feel free to ask a question on breastfeeding, but if you are not asking, I know the question people have asked me on breastfeeding, and I will start to ask the question myself and I will answer it. Okay, the most common question people tend to ask is, what about twins? What about triplets? How do I get my babies? Can I breastfeed exclusively twins? And usually, that question is very easy for me to answer, because what I tell people, just go down our Facebook group, on our Instagram pages, that we have testimonial videos of people. The average mothers, actually, you make more milk than your baby needs, so you can actually breastfeed your twins as well. It's about the milk you're making. Of course, you will need help, because when you are pouring out all the milk, you may need other people to be helping you, because it's almost like you are continuously, either expressing or breastfeeding and all that. So it's okay to get all the help, but you can do it. Usually by the time you start getting to 3, 4, it may be more challenging, but the more of the breastfeeding you do, the better. Okay. So that is to say, but I also want people not to feel like, okay, if you don't exclusive breastfeed, that means you have committed the unpardonable sin or anything like that. No. But what I normally want you to know is that breastfeeding is the best for your baby. So if breastfeeding is the best, then um we have a right to tell you what is best. But if you don't have the best, you can always go for the next best. So I always tell mothers, I breastfeed as much as you can, but if you can do your exclusive breastfeeding, that's the best. And I always tell mother, if you look at all those bottles, all those cans of milk that we buy, that for those who are formula feeding buy, you will notice that it is written on it. It is written on all of them, and you can go and confirm it right now if you are formula feeding. Breast is best. Breast is best, because that is the best way to feed your baby. But if you want to confirm it, you can go and check all those your for those who are formula feeding, you can go and check it. We deliberately ask them to write it on it, so that everybody will know that this is the best way to feed my baby. Even if you are not choosing the best way, at least you know. So we always wanted to do that. Okay, Jennifer is saying I'm honest. Okay, yeah, I've seen your comments. All right. So ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Another challenge mothers always have is about the baby sucking on the breast. So some mothers say, oh, baby is always sucking, sucking, sucking. So I say baby is never full, and they are wondering the breast is not enough. And apologies to the grandmothers, they are my they are my target. They always just try to quickly tell the mother, the breast is not enough, the baby is not full, blah blah blah. Let her go and buy something else. Let me address that, because that's one of the issues that mothers face, and that's one of the things that stress out mothers, because they feel like, I'm breastfeeding my baby, but I'm not giving enough. Maybe my baby is hungry, my baby is not getting enough food, I don't want my baby to starve. And mothers now, with that love, and they don't want anything to happen to their baby, so they start getting stressed. Unfortunately, when mothers are stressed, it's actually stop the breastfeeding production, which is again a kind of a vicious cycle. So a mother is stressed because she feels she's not giving enough breast milk to her baby, but that stress alone will make the breast milk also to stop, actually. So it is important. I always encourage new mothers, don't stress about breastfeeding, and I always want you to know that you got it. You can exclusively breastfeed your babies. Okay, our mothers have been breastfeeding, so other mothers are breastfed. You can do it. And it's not about size of your breast. You don't need to have a big breast, you don't need to have a small breast, because whether you have size Z cup breast or size B or size A, whatever, you all have 20 milk dots. It's the same amount of milk dots, and it is that milk dots that actually store the milk and produce it. That's where the milk flows through. So it's not about how big your breast is. Some people say, my breast is too big, my nipple is too big, it's too long, my baby will choke on it. No. Or my breast is too small, or my breast is inverted. I will talk about all those issues that mothers struggle with. Okay, so I will answer your question, Jennifer. Let me just finish these thoughts about, is my baby getting enough breast milk? Because that is the number one question. That is what, apart from the going back to work, which is already, we are addressing it by saying the government should give you 6 months maternity leave. The other issues mother have is that, I'm not producing enough milk, or my baby is not full, my baby is always crying. Even after I finish breastfeeding, my baby is still crying. Okay, so number one, you can produce enough breast milk. Let's just settle that. And breast milk is a demand and supply economy. In other words, the breast milk is not just produced and keep being produced for it to waste. God, nature abhors wastage. So you produce enough according to what is requested. So which is why it is so important for your baby to keep sucking, because it's that sucking that tells the brain, you produce your breast in your brain, not in the breast. It's very important for us to understand that. I'm not saying literally, but there are what we call hormones responsible for breast milk production, that they regulate everything. Those hormones are coming from your brain, and they are affected by all the stress and everything you go through. So when there's no demand on your breast, when nobody is sucking on that breast, the brain gets the message, we don't need breast milk. So it will reduces the hormone and all the things that should produce milk, and the milk will start to dry up. That's why once you stop breastfeeding, your milk dries up, because the brain is getting that message that we don't need breast milk. But when your baby sucks and keeps sucking, then the brain, oh, we need more, you produce more, you produce more. So breastfeeding is so important for us to keep putting the baby to the breast. And a lot of mothers are saying, I'm not breastfeeding because my milk is not flowing. And I always tell mothers, your milk will only flow when your baby suck on the breast. So the milk lets down, the flow of that milk is not going to happen until the baby sucks on the breast, because that is what tells the brain we need milk. So mothers say, there's nothing in the breast. No, put the baby to the breast. Nothing is coming out, just put the baby to the breast. As the baby suck, the brain gets the message. Then you start, even some of you will know what I'm saying. You start feeling your milk rushing out. You start feeling your breast getting engorged as your baby starts to suck, even though you may think your milk is not, the breast is maybe flat before. So it is that sucking on the breast that always releases that milk lets down. That is number one. Then number two, the more your baby suck, the more the milk flows. And number three, the milk has to come out of the breast. Now, this is where the latching or attachment of the baby to the breast is so crucial, because most times, some of us, when we want to breastfeed, oh, I didn't have my model here, I need to get this. Most of us put the nipple in the mouth of the baby. The nipple is just like the mouth of the tap. The milk is not there. The milk is coming down from the pipe, what we call the milk ducts, and they are stored in what we call in the milk sinuses, which are under the areola. So the nipple is just where the milk comes out from. So you need to turn the tap on by pressing on the areola so that the milk will flow. But most of us, when we let our baby suck on the nipple, then no milk is flowing. The baby is frustrated. Baby cries and cries because nothing is coming out. Baby will even bite you the mouth. That's why some of us end up with nipple wounds and stuff. But when you make sure that when you want to breastfeed, you make sure your baby open the mouth wide and make sure most of the areola, that black part beyond the nipple, is in the mouth because that is where the milk is stored. So when baby put their mouth on that, the milk just gushes out and then the baby starts enjoying the feeding, and the more that milk is let out, then the brain send the message, go and refill, and that more milk will be produced. So latching of the baby to the breast, putting the baby to the breast, and frequent sucking of the baby to the breast, those are the crucial things that make your milk to flow. And when you stress, when you are worried and anxious, you actually tell your brain, stop producing breast milk. And because there's the brain begins to produce what we call stress hormones, cortisol, and it's about, I want to run, I want to fly away, I can't do this. There will be no milk production when you are running and flying. So you need to relax. You got this. You can breastfeed your baby. Your baby is fine. Think about your baby. Think nice thoughts. Go to those lovely places in your mind. Carry your baby with you. Hold your baby. Think of the milk will flow because your brain gets the message, oh, the baby needs milk. But when you're, I can't do it, oh, baby is hungry, baby is crying, you're anxious, then your brain will produce cortisol, will produce stress hormones, and then milk will not be produced. So these are the important aspects. All of us will got this. You don't need any special food, any special thing to make your milk flow. You need to rest your mind and be positive in your mind so that your brain doesn't produce stress hormones. You need to attach the baby to the breast very well, and then you need to make sure the baby keeps sucking well on the breast. Okay, I've got some questions. Let me quickly take them. Instagram, Miss Debbie J. Good evening. My baby wasn't feeling too well. How old is your baby? Took him to the hospital, was given injection for malaria. And he doesn't want me to touch that place. It's really paining him. Yeah, usually when they give injection on the thighs, it's painful. Shami have bled in the thigh muscle. Just apply some high sparks and all that. I'm not a fan of giving children injections. You didn't tell us how old your baby is. You didn't tell me why your baby is your baby vomiting. Is there any reason why this child should be given an injection instead of oral medication? I can't see it in your post. As and please, mothers, we too should stop, because sometimes it is we that make doctors do that, especially private hospitals. I want injection, I want injection. There is no additional benefits of injections to taking oral medication. Your child is not vomiting, your child is not sick enough to be kept in the hospital, then that child is not sick enough for any injection. That child should be given the medication by mouth. If your child is sick enough not to take medication by mouth, then your child should be in the hospital and they should put up in line. Okay. So as much as we want to stay away from intramuscular injection, we only want to give it only like during immunization when it's absolutely no alternatives. As much as let's go for drugs that our children can take by mouth, because all this injection, it has all side effects. The children bleed into the muscle, they can injure the nerves. I've seen children who stop walking now, then we now have started doing physiotherapy. All those are avoided. We just give the child drugs by mouth. As much as possible, give drugs by mouth, no injection. Stop saying injection is better. It is not. Okay, it has more challenges. All right. Okay, I hope Debbie J, you are there, and you can answer. Got that. Okay, Amaka also say, how can I increase my milk supply? Oh, you ready? I just answered that question before you came, but I'll just summarize. Just breastfeed your baby more. Let the baby suck on the breast. Let the baby suck frequently. What we call on demand. So demand means that the baby wants the breast. Here you go. Make sure your baby is well attached to the breast. That is the key. Attachment, latching, or whatever language you want to call it, it's the 99% of breastfeeding. If we don't get the latching, if we don't get the attachment, breastfeeding will be hard because the milk will not flow out, the breast will be congested, it will be painful for the mother, the child is also frustrated, and then if you don't address the congestion, it will turn into mastitis. The mother will start having infection, wounds on the breast, like pus will start coming out, and then it's become an unpleasant experience. Actually, breastfeeding should be a pleasant experience. It's actually a pleasurable experience both for the baby and the mother, really. But we need to get it right, and that is why we are here to support the mothers. That first hour of life, we need to get that breastfeeding right. That first hour, that's the time to ensure that the mothers put the baby to the breast, sit properly, position the baby properly. The baby has to latch, and then they should drain the breast. You must exchange the breasts. When you finish with this one, the next time you start with the other one, and then you keep giving the baby the breast and just relax. I always say, all the people that are coming to help mothers, please do every other thing else. Sweep the house, cook the food, do everything else. The only thing the mother should be doing is actually breastfeeding, because that's the only thing she alone can do. Every other person cannot do it. So let the father go to the market, let him go and buy food, let him cook. That is what it's all about. It's about supporting the mothers. So everybody else should be doing everything else. The mother should just sleep, eat, and breastfeed the baby because that is the only thing she alone can do. So we have to make sure she does it properly. So that's that. And for those of you who are expressing, when you are breastfeeding on one side, you can be expressing on the other side. If you want to express, even for those of us who are still planning to go back to work, maybe you're not yet in a state like Lagos or Ekiti, or you're where you can get 6 months maternity leave and you're still going to get 3 months. You can store your breast milk for 3 months in your deep freezer. Nothing will happen to it, and you can give your baby. So some of us, like those who are like that, I know one of my colleagues, our pictures are still on our Facebook group. She was expressing, and she has loads of breast milk expressed in her freezer. And I know one month that she was able to travel abroad without her baby, and her baby was still on exclusive breastfeeding because she has expressed enough breast milk, store it in her freezer for the 1 month that she was away. So it is possible. So that's all we need to do. All right, let me come back to Facebook. Jennifer is saying, what can we do when baby pulls on the breast? Pulls? I don't understand what you mean. Like baby, um, again, okay, I think I got what you're trying to say. So the most important thing is that we need to understand the attachment again. Baby should not be able to pull on the breast. But if you think your baby is biting or trying to pull on the breast, you can stop the breastfeeding. Or to stop a baby from breastfeeding, your small finger, just put it in the baby's mouth and depress the tongue of the baby. That's it. The baby will lose contact with the breast. That is a very simple procedure. So you just put your finger in the mouth of the baby and press the tongue down, and that's it. The baby can stop, and then you wait a little bit, and then you can resume the breastfeeding. That also applies, but please also make sure your baby is attached. So most of this pulling and biting, it happens when the baby is on the nipple, not on the old areola again, which is why it is so important. So most of the time when one breastfeed, don't just let the baby quickly grab the breast. Sometimes the baby are so hungry, they are so greedy, they just want to quickly grab the breast. And in that process, they just grab on the nipple rather than, So make sure there's a way you can do it for newborn babies. If you stroke their mouth, the corner of the cheek, if you stroke it that way, the way I'm doing now, for those who can see me on video, they will open their mouth. They will open it wide, and you have to wait for them to open their mouth wide before you now put your breast inside, so that you can put most of that areola and the nipple. All our breastfeeding videos have all this information so that you can watch it, and those videos are available in Yoruba, in Hausa, in English, in other languages, so you can watch in any language that you understand best. So there's not like, I don't understand this big English grammar. Watch it in Yoruba, watch it in Hausa. I'm not sure whether we have Igbo now. I will check. They keep adding more languages. So you can watch it, and then you see how people attach the baby to the breast. And that's all you need. Once you get it, then you'll be fine. All right. Sarah, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Do I still have any question on Instagram? No. All right. So please, if you have any question, please ask. We're still on breastfeeding week. It's our World Breastfeeding Week 2024, and the theme for this year is closing the gap and providing breastfeeding support for all. We're going to provide breastfeeding support for mothers. So I'm answering questions that mothers may have on breastfeeding. Okay, I got another question. Any side effects baby sucking one breast? That question is very important. I notice a lot of mothers, well, not a lot, maybe some mothers, at least on ATP, they just like to breastfeed on one side of the breast. No, 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 no. There's a reason why God gave you two. And like I tell you, nature abhors waste. I will tell you why it's so important for you to breastfeed on both sides. not only just for the baby, but for you. Because some of you, when you now finish breastfeeding, you now say, one breast is bigger than the other. You will start feeling self-conscious for your own aesthetic reasons. So you want to breastfeed on both breasts. So you should not keep breastfeeding on one side. And I know what normally happens is that most mothers, we are all comfortable doing things on one side because some of us are right-handed, for example. So you will just, if you don't think about it, you will instinctively just put your baby on that right, because that is, I mean, you put the baby on the left because your right hand, you want it to be free doing other things, or vice versa. So we instinctively just go for the side that is comfortable for us. But as a mothers, we have to be intentional. Don't do comfortable. You have to do intentional. So intentional means if you start with this is my left breast. Sometimes the baby will be okay, just one breast at that feed. That's okay. And baby slept off and baby go to sleep for 2, 3 hours. That's okay. But when baby wakes up and you want to breastfeed, please don't start again on the left. Go to the right. You must alternate the breast. You must alternate the breast. So babies, when you even breastfeed them on the left, they won't be enough. They will still want more, and the breast has empty. You will know when your breast is empty because you will feel it like there's something coming out. You press it, there's something coming out. Please go to the right, okay? And breastfeed the baby. And if the baby finish sucking on that right, when baby wakes up and you want to breastfeed again, then you go to the left. You must always alternate the breast. Don't stick on one side. Number one, well, some mothers lactate very well. So if you do one side, you will be able to get enough milk. But for most mothers, your baby may not get enough. That's why you have two and not one. God could have given us one breast, but He gave us two because He wants us to, we need the two of them. Okay. And then the second reason is that if you breastfeed on one side, the other side is going to dry up. Remember what I said earlier, if you were here at the beginning, breast milk is demand and supply. Demand and supply. If there's no demand on that side will dry up. And then some other will not say, oh, this other breast, baby doesn't like it, because there's nothing coming from that other side of the breast, because you are not putting babies to that side of the breast, and the milk has, kind of dry up, and the breast itself is shriveled, but if you keep alternating them, both sides will be flowing, and then you will have more than enough to even express, so that for those of you that are still going to go to house or go to work, even when you are not around, there's breast milk at home for the baby that other people can feed the baby. So please, you must alternate the breast. There's no medical or scientific reasons why your baby cannot suck on both breasts. There is none. So please, if you're having issues, most time it's more of the comfort of the mothers, not the baby. If you're having issues, please let us know. See your pediatrician, and then we can see how to support you. Okay. Now, when we are still on that, let me quickly answer the question: what if the mother has like a wound or infection on the breast? Because some mothers, if we don't get the attachment properly, we are prone to having engorged breast. We're prone to having what we call mastitis, like infection. We're prone to having what we call breast abscess. So if there's infection on the breast, you will not be able to breastfeed directly on that breast. So what we normally say, you can express it and throw the milk away. Hopefully it's not on the two side. Because if it's the other side is okay, you can keep breastfeeding on the other side. But you should see your pediatrician or your doctors, then they can give you antibiotics, usually 1 week or so, and the breast will heal. And sometimes we may need to remove the pulse and all that. But we can avoid all that if we only just start the breastfeeding properly, and we get it right. So that's the only time. And people will say, oh, are there medical reasons why a mother cannot breastfeed? Like some people tell me, oh, the doctor have told me I cannot breastfeed because I was sick. And was sick and all that. There are actually very, very few reasons why you cannot breastfeed. And it's not because you have cesarean section. Having a cesarean section is not an excuse not to breastfeed your baby. Okay, you can have cesarean section. Most of us have cesarean section that is done at our back. We are awake. You had the baby when baby was crying. So you are not really incapacitated, let me put it that way. So there's no reason why you cannot breastfeed. The only mothers that may struggle are those who have complications like eclampsia, preeclampsia, and sometimes they keep us in the ICU for a couple of days of observation. Yes, okay, because you are not even awake, you are out completely. But if you are not awake, if you are not asleep, sorry, and you are awake and you are with your baby, please, as a CS is not an excuse. Because a lot of mother will tell me, oh, I had CS, so I couldn't breastfeed my baby for the first week, but now I'm ready, but there's no more milk. Our nurses, I hope you're listening to me. There is no excuse for a mother who has cesarean section not to breastfeed our baby. We can even help her. Even some mothers, if she cannot sit up, she can lie and we can help put the baby to her breast for her to breastfeed, because cesarean section does not affect the breast. Trust me. Okay. And most mothers, the earlier you actually begin to sit up and begin to spread, the earlier you recover from your cesarean section. So cesarean section, let's let that excuse go with 2024. Okay, it's not enough. I've had cesarean section and I was able to start breastfeeding my baby, so I can talk from experience as well. That is number one. And then mothers who are HIV positive. When I was training as a doctor, we that was the peak of HIV, and we don't know so much about HIV, and we thought that giving our babies formula will protect them from having HIV. So we're focused on the HIV. Do you know what? The babies were not dying from the HIV. The baby were dying from diarrhea. They were dying from pneumonia. They were dying from things that are not killer diseases like HIV. So we have to have a rethink. So these babies are not even dying because they don't have HIV, but they are still dying. They are dying from diarrhea, they are dying from pneumonia. So research again, research again. We find out that it is actually better for a mother who is HIV positive to breastfeed her baby rather than not to breastfeed, because baby is actually going to die when they are formula fed and when they are exclusive breastfed. Trust me. So the law has changed now. So what we do now is to make sure the mother takes her drugs, highly active antiretroviral drugs, and we also give baby drops as well, and let the mother breastfeed exclusively. Do you know what? Baby are surviving better and they are not getting HIV. So it's actually better even for the HIV positive mom to breastfeed her babies rather than to give formula. So we've changed that law now. So now it is exclusive breastfeeding even with HIV. Whether you have hepatitis and all that, it is exclusive breastfeeding. We no longer recommend that you should not breastfeed your baby. What we do is that while you are breastfeeding, we give you drugs to protect your baby from catching the HIV. So we give you drugs in a way that your viral load will be almost undetectable. So exclusive breastfeeding again, even in HIV, even in hepatitis B, C exclusive breastfeeding. The only few scenarios where a mother cannot breastfeed, of course, if the mother is not there, unfortunately, a lot of our mothers are still dying. A lot of our mothers are still dying from childbirth. We are hoping and praying that will stop as well. You know, having a baby should not be a death sentence. But so if the mother is late, there's something we can do. We have to feed the baby. So that is why the formula companies exist. Not for the babies that their mother is alive and kicking. It is for mother babies who don't have mothers. Okay, all right. Babies whose mother on what we call chemotherapy drugs. Mother has cancer. There are some mothers that have cancer of the breast, cancer of other parts, and they have to take drugs. And mothers are so loving, so brave, because usually when mothers have cancers, they always offer them termination of the pregnancy. We most doctors we offer them. We are like, save your life first. But most mothers will say, no, I'm not going to terminate the pregnancy. I want my baby to live. You know, that's the love of a mother. And so those mothers sometimes they carry the baby and they're able to deliver the baby, but because when they are not on the drugs, the cancer is going to advance. So we have to start them on on the anti-cancer drug chemotherapy almost immediately. So those mothers sometimes, if you are on chemotherapy, you can't breastfeed. So we have to give those babies formula. Okay, and then really some babies have what we call inborn error of metabolism, very rare metabolic disorders that the baby cannot tolerate milk, not even just breast milk, most milk, lactose for one reason or the other. So for those babies too, we have to give them a different kind of milk because of the condition they have. Those are the only few scenarios where you cannot exclusive breastfeed or you cannot breastfeed at all. Otherwise, most mothers You are welcome to breastfeed your baby exclusively. All right, I got a few more questions come through. It was it no, no, not on Instagram, but I got a few on Facebook. All right, if somebody said, "Can a breastfeeding mother take malaria hagbo?" Hagbo, okay. Anyway, on ATP, I mean, if you know ATP, you wouldn't have asked that question because you know we don't. I always tell you guys we are not herbalists, okay? So I cannot comment on what I don't know, okay? But I know enough to say if you are breastfeeding, you should not take herbal medication. If you are breastfeeding or you're pregnant, please don't take herbal drugs. I try to abide by my own calling, so I will stick to myself as a pediatrician and not even speak to you as an adult. We are an adult, you are free to do what you want for your own health. I have my reservation about it for you, but I will abide by my own calling and stick with my children, okay? Please don't give your baby agbo, and don't take agbo when you're breastfeeding, because when you take agbo, for those who don't understand Yoruba, that is herbal concussion. Some of it will get into your breast milk and they will go to your baby. Most of these herbal concussions, they are made with alcohol. Okay, alcohol is neurotoxic. It's a poison to the brain. Whether you take it in pregnancy or you take it during breastfeeding, it damages the brain. Okay, and for the baby, you don't want a baby's brain damage at all in that early phase. Not at all. So please, I know some of you will say, oh, it is a not a non-alcoholic one. Yeah. But I don't know what are the other things that they put inside. So I don't know whether those ones are also toxic. So that's why I cannot comment on it. So if I don't know what it is, then I'll rather stay away, because even my own drugs that are what we call normal drugs, the Western drugs. There are some that I won't give you because you're breastfeeding. So when you are breastfeeding, there are certain drugs we as doctors we will not give you. We will not give you when you're pregnant. We will not give, because we know that it's not good for a pregnant woman. It's not good for a breastfeeding mothers. The agbo people, did they tell you that this one is not for a breastfeeding mother or this one is not for a pregnant woman? They don't tell you that. Everything goes. So we are honest enough to know that, even though we are not saying that all apps are bad or anything, no, but we are honest to know the one that is not good for somebody who is breastfeeding, for somebody who is pregnant. So we will write it. That's why when you buy medication, you read the leaflets. All the information are there. There's always information on, can a pregnant woman use it. There's always information on, can a breastfeeding mother use it. So there are information like that. But agbo people, they don't tell you all that, and then they won't also tell you the quantity, because even your paracetamol, there's a quantity you should take. If you take more than that quantity, you damage your liver. But the problem with herbal drugs, nobody tells you. In fact, they kind of make you feel like the more you take, the better. Which is, so that is why generally I don't like people taking herbs, even for adults, not to talk of children. But please, if you are even breastfeeding, don't. I hope I've been able to convince you. For whatever reason you want to take it, don't. And please don't give the children at all. Don't even try it with my children. Okay. All right. Somebody's asking, is there anything like bitter breast? Aha, that's another question. Very good question from Christy. So people believe that some mothers will tell me, my breast is bitter, my breast is sour, my breast is, that's why my baby is not taking it. All these, what we call old wives' tales. It's, your breast cannot be bitter, your breast cannot be sour. If you express breast milk and you don't store it properly, of course it will go sour, just like any other food. Breast milk is food, so you have to store it properly. But the breast milk in your body, inside your breast, it can never go sour, it can never go bitter, it can never go anything. So like I said, some babies have metabolic disorders, and sometimes they run in certain families. So mothers that have those kind of genetic conditions and give babies to those kind of condition, if they don't know and they breastfeed their babies may die, and they can have that kind of a baby again, and then so their babies will always be dying. And so our people, they are not scientists, but they begin to see the pattern that this mother's babies are always dying because she's breastfeeding, and so they know there's a link, but they don't know why. Okay, so they don't know the scientific explanation. So some mother will say, oh, don't, maybe the breast is bitter, that's why the babies are dying, don't give your baby breast milk. No. So what you need to do, if that is happening, we should see a doctor. Any baby that dies, we need to know why. We need to investigate. We will do all those research and all that. And if we think your baby has a metabolic disorder, then we can fix it, or we can know what to do next time. But don't go preaching to everybody that their breast is bitter or anything like that. No mother's breast is bitter, no mother's breast is sour, and all that. Then some of you like to taste your breast milk, and they will say, "Oh, my breast milk is not sweet. It's not. It's soapy easy." So breast milk content or constituents, they vary from time to time. And then the breast milk is made of two parts. There's a beginning part of breast milk, we call it fore milk. That part is watery. It's almost like tastes like water, which is why you don't need to give your baby water when you're breastfeeding, because the first part of milk, the fore milk, is so watery, it's just all water, and it is quench the thirst of the baby. The latter part of the breast milk, we call it hind milk. That is the fatty, the creamy, the sweeter part of breast milk. Okay, that is the one that gives baby satiety. That is why the baby have to suck long enough on the breast. That's another thing. Some of us just give our baby breast 30 seconds, 20 seconds, then you say you've removed the breast. That baby is only taking fore milk. And that baby will be hungry again, because it's like you have just drank water. You will still need food. So you need to make sure your baby suck long enough on the breast to empty the breast, to take both the fore milk and the hind milk, the water part, the watery part, and the creamy, milky, fatty part of it. The baby has to take the two, so you must empty that breast before you switch to the other side of the breast. That's why it's so important. That's why some of you, your babies want to suck every second, because you are not breastfeeding long enough. You are not touching properly, and you are not breastfeeding. Most babies will suck nothing less than 5 to 10 minutes to empty the breast. Usually the babies, the smaller babies, because they are still learning. As you are learning to breastfeed, your baby is also learning to suck. So both of you are teaching each other. So they may take longer. So you see them, because they, number one, they also don't have as much muscle or power to suck. But by the time they're beginning to get to that 3, 4, 6 months, they have become experts. So within less than 5 minutes, they've drained the entire breast, and then they move to the second one. Those are the ones that are now experts. So your baby needs to suck long enough on the breast to take both the fore milk and the hind milk. It's so important that we get that. So depending on the part of your breast milk that you're tasting, the taste will be different, and your milk will be different from mine. And the milk of that mother will be different in the morning from afternoon to night. The milk of a mother who has a preterm baby is different from a mother who doesn't have. So your breast milk is customized for your baby. That is the amazing thing about breast milk, which you won't get with formula, because it's the same formula everybody gets. But your breast milk, it varies from time to time, and it is customized specifically for your baby, which is why it's so important for us to exclusively breastfeed our baby. So your breast is not bitter, Christy. So if a mother is breastfeeding and our babies are having any health issues, she should see a pediatrician. Don't make assumption. Don't say because the breast is bitter, that's why baby is not sucking. Sometimes baby is not sucking because we are not attaching the baby properly to the breast. Sometimes baby is not sucking because of what we call nipple confusion. Let me not end this session without talking about nipple confusion, because it's very common. Please, we don't like the bottles. We don't. I know, we know a lot of mothers, we all have bottles at home. That's the first thing we buy when we go to the market. I don't know those who created the list, but we don't want you to use bottles, especially in that first 2 months, the first 2 months of life of babies. We don't want them to use bottles. When you give them bottles, you confuse the baby between the mother's nipple and the bottles, the teeth of the bottle. And most bottles now, that's it. Some of us, you puncture it very well, so that when you pour it like this, the whole milk is just flowing. Whereas for the mother's breast, the baby has to suck. Sucking is work. That's the only work the baby does. That's why they sweat when they are sucking. And breast milk is warm, it's hot, it's at your internal temperature, almost 37 degrees. So it's warm. So babies have to suck to bring up the milk. Whereas for the formula, you put the bottle in, the thing is just flowing. So as intelligent as my babies are, they will just go for the easy option. So most of them will prefer to go for the bottle. Then they don't want to suck on your nipple, because that one is more work. Whereas the bottle, you just put it in their mouth, it's flowing. They don't even do anything. They just put their mouth around the bottle, and that's it. So, which is why some babies will now refuse to start sucking the breast. And when they refuse to suck on your breast, remember demand and supply, the breast milk will start to dry up because there's no demand on it. Even though you express, but the expressing is not like as stimulating like the baby sucking on the breast himself or herself. So please, no bottles. I know some of you say, "Oh, what about if I'm not around you?" So you can express. Yes, we can use cup and spoon. Yeah, I know it's a lot more work, but that's better. Or you can. There's a way the nurses do it. Just the cup. You just give the baby the cup the same way you drink your tea, but you tip it and do it gradually. All this small baby stainless cup or plastic one, you can give your baby with cup. You can also give your baby breast milk with spoon. If you watch the breastfeeding videos, how to express and store your milk and how to give express breast milk, you will never see any bottle in those videos. We are very, very intentional with everything. Do you know that even all those bottles, they are under what we call regulation? We regulate the baby formula, we regulate the bottles, everything, because we need to protect breastfeeding. Otherwise, the formula companies are going to run breast milk, and our babies are going to die. So that is why we can't allow them to. That's why there's what we call WHO code and all that. There are codes that regulate all those. That's why you will never see them advertise it anywhere on the TV. They don't, at least in our, for those that follow the WHO code, at least in Nigeria, you won't see it advertised. It's against the law because there are things that you should not do. We all must promote, we all must support breastfeeding, and you will never see people like me advertise or promote things like that. We have to promote breastfeeding because that's the best way for us to feed our babies. So I've answered the question on Agbo, and I've answered the question on nipple confusion, and I've answered the question on bottle. It's very important. Is there a remedy if you already made a mistake and one breast are dried up? Okay, yeah. If you just keep putting the baby back, you know what? Nature, God is so good that you can correct your mistakes. Even for those people that say, "Oh, I didn't breastfeed now, mommy." If you put your baby to the breast, and trust me, the milk will flow again because it is that sucking. It may take a little bit of time, but the milk will flow. We even can induce people who don't have babies. We can induce them to breastfeed. We do. We can induce grandparents for those mothers that the babies, for those babies that their mothers are late. We can actually induce other people to breastfeed, but because of the HIV thing, so we don't like to do most of those things these days because you never trust who doesn't have HIV or not. So if the fact that you are the mother of the baby, if you keep putting your baby to that breast, it will flow again. You just keep trying. It will take a couple of days or maybe a week or more, but if the more baby suck on it, the milk will begin to flow. So it is still possible to do that. All right. My time is almost up. I don't have any more questions on Instagram. I don't have any more questions on Facebook. But just to round up as I'm going, please, if you need more information about breastfeeding, come to Ask the Pediatricians. We have loads of resources on our Facebook, on our website's a bit down now. We're upgrading it on our YouTube channel, on our every platform, on our Instagram. Just go through it. Just search breastfeeding. You will see all of them popping up. If you want to download all those videos and you don't want to come to Facebook or YouTube, there's an app, Birth and Beyond app. Birth and Beyond app. I don't know whether I have a picture. So you can download that. It is free. It's available on what's the name of that thing? It's available on App Store. It's available on Google Store. It's available everywhere, and it is free, and it's available in all the most languages, not all the languages. Let me know over exaggerate now. So you please download that app, download the videos, watch them. It's not only the breastfeeding videos that are there. They have the one on. It's made by Global Health Media. If you want to go on YouTube, just search Global Health Media Breastfeeding. You will see all the videos for parents, and there are some for health professionals, but go for the parents one, watch them, understand, and do it. Breastfeeding is very rewarding, not only for the baby, not only for you as a mother. You're protected against breast cancer or uterine cancer. Your baby is protected against what we call like obesity, hypertension, metabolic syndromes in future. They have higher IQs compared to babies that are not. So there are many benefits. And of course, for the country, we don't have to be dealing with how to clear all the waste products of tins and all the formula bottles and all. We don't have to do with that. Breast milk is as natural, it's eco-friendly, okay, and it is economic friendly. It costs us nothing. The mother needs to eat anyway, of course, and drink a lot of water, but you don't have to spend. For those of you who know, you know how much they are selling those bottles, formulas, and you have to buy how many things. I think for the first 6 months, maybe 44 or 56. We've actually calculated how many you need to buy. We know all that, and if you multiply it by how much one is, it's not something you have to be dragging out. Most babies will finish one in 3 days, but breast milk, and you don't need to start boiling water, you don't need electricity, you don't need gas to to give your baby breast milk. You don't need any bottle, you don't need any flax, you don't need nothing. Just carry your bag and your baby, you are good to go. So there are many advantages. Okay, somebody is asking for the name of the app, so let me just write it, so that Birth and Beyond app. It's available on, if you check through our website, so you will see it, and it's made by Global Health Media Video. This is an NGO, and what this NGO does is that they just make all these small short videos that are educative for parents. I love them. Very simple, very practical. They don't use they use everyday mother, everyday environment, everyday stuff, and you will love it when you watch them. So you will understand. And we have them in our Facebook group. If you go to the guide section right now, they are all pinned. We want you to, they're all on the featured post, because we want you to watch them, we want you to see them. So breastfeeding week is rounding up. Today is day 5 already. Wow. I think we have our quiz coming up. I'm not sure whether it's tomorrow. Let me look for the so breastfeeding quiz this year. If you want to participate, join us. We just want you to see how much you've learned. But like I said, if you have questions as well, feel free to go to our Facebook group, ask your questions, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So thank you so much for joining me today. Breastfeeding week is going to end on the 7th. But if you still have any questions, even beyond August, you are welcome to ask. We on ATP, we are fully, unapologetically pro breastfeeding. I'm pro exclusive breastfeeding. When we started, a lot of mothers will come to me and say, Dr. Gbemi, why are you always shouting breastfeeding, breastfeeding? You are making us to feel bad. And I always say, no. I don't intend to make anybody feel bad, but it is my responsibility to tell you what is the best for your babies. Okay, so this video is not a this video. It is not to put any mothers down. I definitely understand why some mothers may, I've already told you some reasons as well, but some people, for whatever they try, they can't, you know don't feel so bad, but if you need help, ask us for help. We are here to support you. And I love the fact that some others will say, oh, because my first baby, I couldn't, they didn't get all this support, and they have to do what they have to do. But because now they are having all this support from us, they're actually able to do it. So my role is not to condemn anybody. My role is to support everybody. So if you need the support, feel free to ask. I'm happy to support you. We have people we call lactation experts. They are, some mothers that really struggle with breastfeeding. They are there. They are specialists. Yes, there are specialists that do that. We don't have many of them in Nigeria, but we, the pediatricians and the nurses and the midwives, we've taken it up on ourselves. But there are actually lactation consultants. There are experts in breastfeeding. And there are, these days, with technology, we all don't have excuse. We have information. We have access to so many resources, so many apps, so many videos. I mean, there's nothing you need that you can't get access to, because technology has made information so available to all of us. So if you need help, just ask for it. Don't suffer in silence. And finally, for all the rest of us who are not breastfeeding, you have only one job in this business: support. Please don't ever discourage a woman who is trying to breastfeed. Don't put her down. Don't make her feel bad. Don't make her feel ashamed. Don't make her feel like she's not, no, please. Daddies, mummies, grandparents, granddaddies, grandmummies, support our mothers, especially our first time mothers, because the first time mothers are vulnerable. I'm very passionate about first time mothers. I have loads of resources for first time mothers. I actually have one on breastfeeding as well. So if you need that, reach out to me as well. But please, I want us to support our mothers to breastfeed their babies. Let's support them to breastfeed their babies. Let's not be the one to discourage them. All right. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you again next week. But like I said, if you have any question before then, feel free um, to reach out to us and we will try and support you. I'm looking for the one on breastfeeding, but my house is just so difficult to find it. But I think we do have one on breastfeeding. Okay, let me look for it. Yeah, this is a question and answer one. Okay, all right, but don't worry. I'm sure we have. If you ask for the one on breastfeeding, yeah, breastfeeding made easy. So it's a course, it's a video. If you want it, reach out to us and we'll try and see how to support you. All right, thank you so much. Oh, Olusegun Olubusola said, "Well done, doctor. You really saved a lot on this space. I'm really grateful. I'm also very grateful for that opportunity. Honestly, those are the things that make me sleep well at night." So thank you so much for saying that. Thank you for your kind words. And please, let's all keep on spreading the news and let's all just keep supporting our mothers. Let every mother feel supported to breastfeed the babies. I'll see you on Thursday with another ACP hour topic. I'm not sure what it is right now. And I'll see you next week, Monday, God willing. Till then, keep promoting breastfeeding. Bye bye.